Okay, you have enough information now to finish 5 and finish 6. I want you to work 5 and 6. They're a lot like some others we've done before. Pause the video, then turn the video back on and we'll compare answers. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, here. Let me set this up. How many milligrams? So my goal is milligrams. How many milligrams of, and Articaine probably means something to you. It doesn't really to me. Articaine are present in 2 cartridges that contain 1.7 milliliters of solution, question mark. Okay, I'm going to look at my chart here because I don't have this memorized. Articaine is 4%. Either I left that out or they left it out on purpose, so you had to go look it up. The Articaine is 4%. So I know I have 40 milligrams per milliliter of the drug. They want us to use 1.7 milliliters per cartridge, and I've got 2 cartridges. 2 cartridges. 40 milligrams per 1 milliliter. It's going to get multiplied by 1.7 milliliters per 1 cartridge. And I've got 2 cartridges. Let's see here. Milliliters cancels, cartridges cancel. My goal was milligrams, and I'm left with milligrams. Ones are in the denominator. Let's totally leave those out this time. It's 40 times 1.7 times 2 in the numerator. And I've worked that out. 40 times 1.7 times 2 gave me 136 milligrams of Articaine. And I believe that's 4%, according to my chart. Did you get that? I hope you did. All right, number 6. How many milligrams? My goal is milligrams. How many milligrams of local anesthetic agent are contained in 4 cartridges? That's a given. They want you to use 1.8. They just say milliliters, but we know that's milliliters per 1 cartridge. 4% Prilocaine. Okay, the 4% turns into what? Multiply by 10. That's 40 milligrams of drug per 1 milliliter of solution. And that's kind of where I always like to start. 40 milligrams per 1 milliliter. That's going to get multiplied by 1.8 milliliters per 1 cartridge. And they told us we have 4 cartridges. Let's make sure my units cancel out. Milliliters in the denominator cancel out with milliliters in the numerator. Cartridges in the denominator cancel out with cartridges in the numerator. The only thing down in the denominator is just a bunch of 1s, so they go invisible. It's 40 times 1.8 times 4. That gives me 288 milligrams of 4% Prilocaine. Is that what you got? Good. Okay, let's do some calculations with vasoconstrictors. I hope I'm spelling all of this right, so if there's any spelling mistakes in your drug names here, I apologize, because this is not my forte. Okay, with all of the calculations we've done so far, I started off with how many milligrams per milliliter of drug is in each one of these solutions. The 1% became 10 milligrams per milliliter. 2% was 20 milligrams per milliliter. 3% was 30 milligrams per milliliter. Pretty easy calculations. You just take each one of these and multiply by 10, or move the decimal point one place to the right. Now with the vasoconstrictors, and I am no expert at this, I just figured this out, what you're going to do, we want to know how many milligrams per milliliter are in these. And these numbers are going to be way smaller than this, because these concentrations are very, very small. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock off the 3 zeros at the end, and I'm going to take 1 and divide by 50. Use your calculator. When you take 1 and divide by 50, you get 0.02. That's going to be milligrams per milliliter. Here, knock off the zeros. 1 divided by 100 is 0.01 milligrams per milliliter. Same here, knock off those zeros. 1 divided by 200 gives you 0.005 milligrams per milliliter. Same here, knock off the 3 zeros at the end. 1 divided by 20 gives you 0.05 milligrams per milliliter. Okay? You don't have to memorize these numbers here. You can just do the math every time. So, let's work out this problem here. Okay, question number 7 says, how many milligrams of, yeah, you want me to pronounce that, huh? I can't even, levo. I'm going to call it levo because I can't pronounce it. How many milligrams of levo are there in 1 carp? And they want you to use 1.8 milligrams per carp of 2% Mepi, or I can't pronounce this, Mepi, with this concentration of levo in it. Okay? Well, we don't need this information here because they don't want us to calculate the anesthetic agent. They want us to calculate the vasoconstrictor. They do tell us this. That's what we need. We need to know this, and we need to know this. Okay, so I told you to calculate your milligrams per milliliter of your vasoconstrictor. It's 1, take off those zeros, divided by 20. 1 divided by 20 gives you what? Yeah, that was 0.05 milligrams per milliliter. Now let's use this. In 1 carp, there's 1.8 milliliters. Well, I'm going to switch that around and say 1.8 milliliters in 1 carp. If we turn this into, I don't know, I call it the picket fence, like this, can you see where our milliliters are going to cancel each other out? That's a 1 right there. We're left with milligrams per 1 carp, and that's what we're looking for. So it's 0.05 multiplied by 1.8, which gives you 0.09 milligrams per carp of 1 to 20,000 of levo. All right. Number 8. What's the maximum safe dosage of lidocaine for a healthy adult patient in milligrams per pound? There's no calculations here. I just got that off the chart. I don't even know why I included it in this video. Okay, on the next 6 problems, I want you to work these out yourself. Pause the video as you go, work them out yourself, and then I'll come back and show you my answers. Okay, so there's 9 and 10, 11 and 12, 15 and 17. Work those out, let's see what you get. Alrighty, let's compare answers. Here I've shown my work and the answers. There's 11 and 12. $15 and $17. All right, that pretty much covers it. I hope I made this easier for y'all to understand. Good luck.